The correct use of felting needles directly influences the product quality of nonwovens as well as the product life of the needle and needleboard, thus contributing to a reduction in operational costs. Production downtime or product changeovers on your equipment can be used as an opportunity to clean needleboards and to inspect for broken, damaged and bent needles. In the first step, fiber buildup and residue is removed from the needleboard using compressed air. Wearing safety glasses protects your employees from released dust particles and fine metal parts. Coarse fiber tufts can be pulled out of the needle rows using tweezers or a hook-shaped tool. If necessary, the felting needles can also be degreased with acetone. Regular cleaning of needles and needleboards is essential, especially for highly adhesive fibers. In the second step, the felting needles are checked row by row for damage. Needles with damaged working parts are almost impossible to detect in the board. The Groz-Beckert needle inspection board helps to quickly find broken and bent needles in the board and replace them. This supports convenient and effective control of the needleboard. In order to locate broken needles among the large number of needles in the board, the needle inspection board from Groz-Beckert is guided row by row through the needles, by the user crosswise to the machine direction. The orientation lines can be used to check each needle and to locate broken, bent or damaged needles. Needles can be removed simply and precisely from needleboards using Groz-Beckert needle removal tools. To do this, place the removal tool with the opening facing downwards on the desired needle and tap the upper surface with a hammer to drive the needle out of the board. The needle board should not lie on the floor or on a table. A needle board holder is ideal. This allows the needles to fall out of the board. When all needle rows in the board have been checked, the needle board is turned. Again, make sure that the felting needles are not placed on the floor or a table with the points facing down and that the board is set down freely in a device. Cleared holes are now filled again with felting needles. To do this, insert the felting needle with the point facing downwards until only the clamping shank and needle butt can be seen. Align the crank of the felting needle in the desired direction and strike the needle crank from above with the hammer until the needle is fully seated in the board. Multiple felting needles can also be inserted and aligned at the same time for needle holes arranged in rows or in a random pattern, and then driven in together with the hammer. Be careful not to strike the needle at an angle or in any way that could bend or damage the needle and affect the alignment in the needle board to prevent broken or bent felting needles in the newly loaded needle board, as this results in increased needle breakage or markings in the product during the needling process. If several needles are broken or bent in the same area of the needle board, we recommend adding needles here that already have a certain degree of wear. In this way, you avoid creating streaks in the nonwoven product, as unused needles often result in a higher fiber transport than used needles. Optimally, these needles should already be in your stock. Alternatively, felting needles that have already run in can also be removed from the edge of the needle board. When all needle holes are filled with felting needles again, the back of the needle board should be visually inspected. A skilled eye quickly detects if all felting needles have been aligned correctly and if needle holes have been missed. Once all needles have been completely reloaded and aligned, the needle board can be reinserted in the needle loom. Now we summarize the individual steps again for repairing needle boards. In the first step, clean the needles with air pressure and as needed with a suitable degreaser. Ensure that all fiber and dust is completely removed from the needle board and needles. Then check the needle board for damaged needles with the needle inspection board. Remove broken or bent needles with the help of the needle removal tool. Refit new felting needles and insert into the cleared holes in the needle board. Pay attention to the vertical hammer blows by striking the needles into the board. In the last step, check the rear of the board for needle crank alignment and completeness.